Welcome to Creepin' It Real. I am Judah. Over the weekend, I watched a Finnish horror film called Hatching. I became interested in watching this because some thumbnails started popping up in my feed on YouTube, and the imagery was quite interesting to me, so I started looking on where I could stream it, and I finally set some time aside over the weekend, and I watched this. I gotta tell you, I might use some strong language during this episode. This movie really set me off. There were some things that really frustrated me, touched on some experiences that I have had with people in real life. So witnessing that in this movie had an impact on me, definitely on my feelings towards this movie. So keep that in mind. Okay, all spoilers. If you didn't put it together, that's a family, a husband, a wife, a son and a daughter. Now, the wife used to be a figure skater, and now she's a blogger. And this is the first thing that really started triggering me, which might be somewhat funny to some people, be it that I do movie reviews, and I also have a couple other YouTube channels, and you'd be like, what a hypocrite you are. And I would be like, you know what? You somewhat got me on that one. This woman is one of those people that wants to portray to the rest of the world that her whole life is perfect. Her husband is perfect. Her children are perfect. She does everything right. Her house is beautiful. Her yard is beautiful. Her husband makes money. Their kids are obedient. They're winning in whatever they're doing. And I don't like those kind of people because it's fake, but they will do whatever necessary to make sure that they keep that appearance. And as you saw in this trailer, they're doing this like vlog kind of a thing, getting ready. They're all being fake. Makes me want to vomit. The fakeness of this woman. I'm super triggered by this movie. And her perfect world is interrupted by this bird smacking into the window. The daughter catches it. You know, they could have easily just released it. Mom calls it over. What does she do? She breaks its neck. And that's how she deals with everything in her life that wants to interrupt what she has planned for the perfect representation. Anything that gets in the way, she will destroy it. Let's just keep on with this trailer then.
Mä pidän susta huolta.
I really don't know if I'm going to get hit with the copyright strike on this or not.
Mä pidän susta huolta.
This movie was so disturbing to me. And not in the aspects of this horror that we're seeing here, but in the aspects of the reality of how people act in the real world.
Mä pidän susta huolta.
Ja uudestaan, ja uudestaan, ja
I
uudestaan.
swear, this woman is a piece of trash. This trailer, for the most part, is this is basically the whole. It's not giving anything away, but at the same time, it's not really hiding.
Mä pidän susta huolta.
As I mentioned, this woman, the mother used to be a figure skater. Something happening. They allude to something happening that derailed her career, and that she's pushing for her daughter to be a gymnast, pushing super hard. In that trailer, you saw that there was one thing that made me laugh. I thought it was humorous. She breaks this bird's neck, and then she hands it back to her daughter, and she says, "Can you go put this in the garbage?" And she goes, "And make sure you put it in the organic bin." I thought that was so funny. Because it was just, to me, it was so perfect. Of anything, that scene alone portrayed or showed there are people out there that will destroy anything. Like I said, they'll destroy anything that gets in their way of representing what they want people to think of them. So she kills this bird, but yet she still wants to keep up the appearance that she's mindful. Make sure you put it in the organic bin, because heaven forbid she put it in the wrong trash. She just took the life of this animal, but heaven forbid she put it in the wrong bin. She still wants to keep up the appearance. It's okay to destroy life as long as she can keep up her appearance. Like I said, I lived 11 years with a person kind of like this. Now, this movie is an extreme, and I know there are people out there, but it had some very real examples of representation of people who don't care about others, and they will use you as long as they can get something out of you. And as soon as they can no longer get use out of you, they'll ditch you. They'll destroy your life. You know what I mean? They don't care. And they will only keep you there as long as it benefits their appearance. So this mom pushes this little girl very hard to win, because she has to represent her. And if she's not winning, she's not representing her properly. She treats her daughter like an object. The story starts with the killing of this bird. She puts it in the trash. Little girl wakes up at night hearing some disturbing noises. She goes out. Somehow this bird wasn't completely dead. It makes it out of the trash. It makes it to its nest, and it's still trying to take care of its egg, But then this girl just demolishes it with a rock, puts it out of its misery. It's just a mushy puddle. There's no way it's coming back. She takes this egg, and she's like, well, she's thinking, the least I can do is take this egg and at least hatch it for this bird, take care of it. And then the egg just starts growing, getting bigger and bigger. It hatches this monster that they used practical effects, and it was quite good. A lot of things ensue. You start picking up on that there's some kind of a mental connection between this young girl and this creature that came out of the egg. Whenever there's some kind of an emotional thing that the girl is feeling, you know that this creature is picking up on it, and it responds in lieu of the girl, and does some horrible things. Not that necessarily this girl is wishing these horrible things, not that this girl really wants these horrible things to be done, but the emotion that she is suppressing based off of her mother, her overbearing mother, it's causing this. So in the end, my interpretation would be that this creature is somewhat of a manifestation of her repressed emotions that she's not allowed to show or feel. She has to just stuff it down. Now, I mentioned the mother in this movie. She is a piece of trash. I mean, she is, the way I'm going to talk about this woman, I could imagine people watching this and thinking that I'm toxic based on the way I'm talking. And that's your right to think that. But these thoughts are completely coming off based off of my experience in life and my interpretation of this movie. Again, this woman is trying to portray she has a perfect life and everything is fantastic and everything is a win. Well, the daughter comes home from practice, and in that trailer you saw that the chandelier broke. So she comes home and there's a guy hanging the chandelier up and the mom is standing very close. Well, she observes that then the mom kind of walks up to the guy as he's on the ladder. She puts her hand on his leg and she starts touching him sexually. And the guy gets down off the ladder and they start, making out. And then he sees her and he sees the daughter and he stops. And the mom tries to play it off like, nothing was going on. Later on, she engages with her daughter and she's like, "You saw us, didn't you?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she tries to bribe her with a gift. And this woman is such a piece of shit. She's all like, "Well, adults, they have special friends." And you can tell that this girl is like, "No, this is wrong." But she's like, "We have special friends. And your dad is just, well, he's your dad. And, sometimes I don't get what I need from your dad." And she essentially manipulates her daughter into keeping this secret for her. And then the mom mentions, "Oh, and I'll be going on a trip this weekend." Well, we full well know what the trip is. She's going to F this guy. And the daughter knows it too. And you can see that she has this turmoil inside for her father and for, her home life. And the burden that this piece of shit woman just put on her daughter is incredible. But she demands that her daughter carry this burden so that her life can be perfect and be unburdened by anything. Like I said, this movie triggered me big time. The mom is like, "Hey, you need a break from things. Things have been difficult. Let's go spend a weekend with this dude that she's having an affair with." So now not only is she asking her daughter to bear the burden of knowing the secret, now she's asking her to fully accept that she's having this affair and come along with her on it. The daughter and the father are having breakfast. The mom gives the daughter some breakfast and she says, "Hurry up and get ready so we can go spend the weekend with whatever that dude's name is." She fully just says this out in the open in front of her husband. And you can see the panic on the daughter's face, like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe she just said that in front of dad." And then the mom walks away. And the dad looks at her and he's kind of like, "Yeah, I know. And, your mom's a very strong-willed woman and she always gets what she wants. And it's a pleasure to be able to live with someone like that." And the little girl was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah. And besides, that handyman, he's a good man. I mean, he's a good person." That's legitimately what the line is, except it doesn't say handyman. It says his name. I can't remember his name. Let's just say Bob's a good man. I mean, he's a good person. And so this father is just okay. Again, I don't know if he obviously has his own issues because this isn't the only thing. He can see that his daughter is in need. And he will come into situations seeing that she is in need of him to be a effing father. And the best he does is go, "Oh, okay," and then backs out and removes himself from the situation. Instead of pressing in and getting to the root of what is going on, helping, embracing, being a father. No, he beta males this shit and he allows himself to be cucked. Super frustrating to me. So within this creature is continuing to grow. And it's starting to take on the characteristics of the young girl. Some things happen. The handyman ends up like breaking up with the mother, and the mother blames the daughter. And she says something to her along the lines of, I thought you could at least allow me to be happy. Oh, I was like, bitch. Oh my gosh. This woman, I cannot say it enough. A piece of shit, this woman. So selfish. But I know that there's people out there that's like, no, what's wrong? If she wasn't happy in her marriage, she should be allowed to leave and find happiness. Look, destroying other people's lives so that you can be happy and think that somehow your happiness gives you the right to destroy other people's lives, go fuck yourselves. Did I mention this movie triggered me? I don't know what the director's feelings are on this. I know the director is a female, so I'm not sure what angle she's taking this from. I don't know if she sees this mother as the villain or if she sees her as being justified in her decisions. I have no idea. I think the real horror here is the lack of care these parents show. This husband being such a beta cuck and not protecting his family, not standing up. And I understand it takes, within a marriage, it takes two. If you have one person who is checked out, it doesn't matter how much the other person wants to make it work, unless you're going to do this cucked shit that this dude did and just let the other party get away with being a piece of trash. But there comes a time when you have to be like, no, I'm not going to allow you to destroy our family anymore. And at that point, I would say, separating yourselves from that situation, taking your kids and being like, hey, if you want to live in this destructive nature, you go do that, but you're not going to bring it on us. You're not going to bring it on the kids and me. You go do your thing. That's great. But don't expect me to continue to help provide for you to live in this manner. So the dad totally shirks his responsibility as a parent, and this mom just uses her kids as some kind of a prop for her perfect life. And it's all good as long as they don't interrupt her perfect life. But as soon as they interrupt her life, then she's going to break your neck. Did I like this movie? Based on the way that it touched me emotionally, I would say no. I did think the practical effects were good. I do think I wouldn't say it's super original. There's been several movies where you have a doppelganger. One is good. The other one represents that repressed portion, which is just fully evil. There being no balance. And I would say my interpretation is that this really has to do with this egg was the hatching of this girl's emotions. I think I mentioned this already. Here, I said spoilers. In the end, the mother and the daughter face off against this doppelganger. But the daughter doesn't understand that the mom wants to kill the doppelganger. Again, wanting to destroy anything that gets in the way of her perfect image. So when the daughter realizes that she wants to kill the doppelganger, she jumps in the way, and the mother ends up killing her daughter, stabbing her right in the heart. As the daughter is dying, blood is coming out of her mouth. She falls over the wounded doppelganger, and blood is pouring out of her mouth into the mouth of the doppelganger. This somehow heals the doppelganger. The daughter dies. The doppelganger becomes full, takes on the completion of its transformation of the daughter, and stands up. And the movie ends with the doppelganger essentially taking the full form of the daughter, and the parents just standing there like, what the heck? My interpretation is that within that moment of the daughter seeing her mom not caring about her emotions, that she was able to let go of this aspect of wanting to protect her mom at all costs, and she embraced her emotions, not necessarily to a detrimental aspect, but she was no longer going to be that submissive, I will do anything to make your life better person. And it ends with her now becoming a fool person. Obviously, she has things she's going to have to work out and understand. She can't go killing neighbors' dogs and killing people who are better than them in competitions and so forth. That's my interpretation of it. It had quite, good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it has like a 7.5 out of 10. Like, I guess that's what, 75%. I'm not sure I would put it at that level. I would never watch this movie again. I do enjoy foreign films. That's the other thing. I mentioned it's Finnish, so you're either going to have to watch it in horribly dubbed English. I mean, it was so bad. I watched like maybe 5 minutes, less, probably like 2 minutes in this English dub, and it was so bad I ended up shutting it off and turning it back to Finnish with English subtitles. Way better that way. You get lost easier, in my opinion, in foreign films that use a language that you don't necessarily understand. And I know there's people who are like, I'm here to watch a movie. I'm not here to read a book. And I kind of get that. But it doesn't bother me. I eventually forget that I'm even reading. As far as the practical effects go, I enjoyed it. I thought it was an interesting creature. The concept I thought was decent, even though not necessarily original as far as this doppelganger type thing goes. But as I mentioned several times, it touched me emotionally based off of people that I've had in my life, and seeing that's a real horror. People who are willing to destroy other people's lives just so that they can have the appearance of having a perfect life. That's real, and that was what was really horrifying about that movie. The budget for this movie, it says that it was 3.95 million euros. When we convert that goes to 4.4 million US dollars. So it had about a $4.5 million budget, which is a small budget, but they did a decent job, especially with the practical effects for that budget. And the little girl did a pretty darn good job acting. I can't really respond to the acting on the mother because I just hated her character so much that it's difficult for me to judge. I mean, well, no, she played being a selfish bitch very good. There you go. The box office return was pretty abysmal for what they invested in it. It looks like $650,000 gross, which is not great. Would I recommend watching this? If you're into foreign films, sure. If you want something that's a little different, I'd say go for it. But overall, I could have passed. The thumbnails I was seeing was definitely intriguing me. But overall, I could walk away with the not have seen this movie and not feeling like I was missing anything. But we have to take into account how it affected me emotionally, and it was not great. It was too close to home for me in my experiences. So I couldn't say that I enjoyed it that much. Final rating, 5 out of 10. I am Judah. This has been Creepin' It Real. Thanks for watching.